So yeah, Discord's got we got like 44 minutes for Discord apparently switches servers. I don't know what the fuck that means.
More than enough.
Oh really, really? You're the reason the last video was
It
already half
really
an
is.
hour. All right, so this is
Video
part
is
two.
gonna take a
few weeks later.
more like a few months later.
AMC part one. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. They never saw part one.
We
just made this video. We just made this video and we're like, yeah, we'll do part two a few moments later.
For them, it'll be right
Never
away.
happened.
Alright, so this is continuing Universes, Leopold the Brave. I think we finished all Dante's weapons and abilities. So...
Bigger boost from Majin form, but that can only be used near death.
So, oh yeah, I was making fun of the fact that he put DMC2's gameplay footage, because that game is just so funny to make fun of.
It's
so another
so weird hearing Majin form be the end all be all after getting DMC5. It's been quite a journey.
So another, I guess, disclaimer. KH3 and any properties involving like DMC or KH lore from late 2016 onwards cannot be included in this.
Yeah.
For the purposes of fairness, so DMC5, Visions of V and Before the Nightmare, as well as KH 0.2 and KH3 cannot be included. Now those are
2.5?
What?
Wasn't the one that came out 2.5, not 0.2?
No, that's 2.8. 2.8 is the collection. 0.2 is like a fragmentary passage. That's Aqua's. That's Aqua's journey. 2.8 is the collection that has Aqua's game. It has DDD, and then it has like basically a bunch of cutscenes from Kingdom Hearts back cover. That's it.
Why the fuck are there so many weird releases with this series?
I don't know. It's like they name Kingdom Hearts games like Microsoft names their Xboxes. Okay.
Don't you insult the almighty Microsoft.
I just sorry, I gotta calm myself. I must control myself. Okay. So let's continue.
You see that God of War's in Fortnite, just out of curiosity? I know it's a little off topic, but God of War's now in Fortnite.
Yeah. This is not on topic. Get out of here with that.
Master Chief's also on his way.
Unless Sora and Dante are in Fortnite fighting each other, this is not relevant to me.
I want to
continue.
It doesn't exist. Alright, let's continue here.
What are these impressive stats that get upgraded anyways? Well, for starters, remember that little Abigail character we mentioned when talking about Dante's Rebellion sword? Well, as it turns out, Abigail has an ability that opens a portal the size of North America in mere seconds.
Dante casually defeated
Dante
Abigail,
scales
whose
to the
attacks reached
speed-wise, making him sub-relativistic.
I don't know if you were around when this was the main feat Dante scaled to. I always hated that people scaled this feat to Dante.
So wait, does people actually think that Dante is like tail beast level? Like,
okay, I don't know if they do now. Actually, no, I take that back. I was just on the Reddit the other day, and yeah, they think he's at that level. Yeah.
So they think he was weaker than that during DMC3. Well, so Leopold and anyone who watches this video, or I guess anyone on this channel, I'd like to inform you. No. So in DMC3, there are direct statements under Beowulf's weapon descriptions that confirms that Volcano hits with the force of a miniature supernova. That is not flowery language. For one, this is literally just the force of Beowulf making contact with a solid surface, as the only other move that in its arsenal that actually hits something is Killer Bee. But that can't really be counted because he's using like the force spread between two legs, and he's gliding downward as an angle, so he's not really like doing any splash damage. The reason we take that pretty solidly is because, well, DMC Demons as of DMC3's manga, because while I can't use Visions of V, I only need DMC3's manga and DMC1 to prove that DMC is uni. And that is that DMC3's manga confirms that Mundus is capable of merging the human world and the demon world, which are both their own universes. As it's also confirmed in that page. In literally 2 to 3 pages, it confirms their sizes, how big they are, the fact that they're separate, and that Mundus is going to merge them. So, and Sparta is convinced that he's going to do it because Sparta thinks he needs to stop him. And since this is the narration that's given in every single game, you can't argue against it, because it's literally a major plot point of the series.
Now, considering the last video was recorded a month or 2 ago, how much you want to bet you already said this in part 1?
I probably said this already in part 1, but I'm going to say it again just for the sake of argument.
Yeah, no.
There's going to be a weird cut in between the first part.
I think I'm just going to release them in 2 separate videos. I think that'll just be easier for people to
Yeah. Okay, so if anyone's wondering why, I don't remember what I said in the first one, because it was mainly the Sora portion and a little bit of Dante portion. So yeah, the continental levels are not impressive if he's solar system level, because that's what supernova means, not star level. I need to tell you people in the Discord server, because you keep saying dwarf star level. A miniature supernova is not dwarf star level. Supernova means a sun exploding at the prime of its lifetime and detonating everything within the rays and immediate radius of its rays. That is solar system level damage. That's not star level damage.
Who hurt you?
Everyone, because they keep saying star level. That's not star level. Okay, sorry. I got that out of the way.
I'll just say, my problem with this feat was always... This feat wasn't scalable to Dante, because you can't scale speed off it unless you want to say...
You can't scale it to Abigail! You can't scale it to Abigail, it's literally just the portal.
Yeah,
it's just the portal opening.
I wouldn't even... anyone scaled that AP-wise. That used to be the main feat for a while.
I'm tired. I've been off work for a while today, but I never understood that, because he's not even, well, granted, he is opening the portal, but remember, guys, this isn't actually Abigail. This is Sid controlling Abigail's power. So I don't know why you would even attribute that to Abigail. That's super weird to me.
Well, keep in mind that most people in general would just call Sid Abigail. It's not really...
Sure. I just say because it would make a difference in the context of the fact that, Abigail, the original Abigail, would obviously know how to use his powers more effectively than Sid would. We didn't even get to see most of Abigail's powers, because he just stabs Dante, and then they get into, a DBZ clash, and then Dante hits him so hard he just explodes, and then his power is gone. And then Dante just kills Sid.
It should be.
I bet that little raindrop feat seems
Sub-relativistic speeds. Well, I hate to be that guy, Leopold, but
Do you really?
back to DMC3. Beowulf, light speed, light-based enemy. Lasers from the rooks.
I was going to say, you even had the lasers from the rooks and stuff. I'm not really quite sure why this one was always so kind of up in the air, contentious.
Also, it is important to note that if you've watched the anime, then you should know that there are statements from Sid and Patty, or not Sid and Patty, Sid and Lady, that both confirm that the power of Abigail is bare minimum on par with that of the Demon King, surpasses that of the Demon King, and will surpass that of the 4 Great Devils. 4 Great Devils would translate to the strongest devils that exist. You could say that at that point in time, but even if we're including at that point in time, that would include Balrog. Oh wait, no, I can't use Balrog, damn it. Because that's before the nightmare.
You're getting too crazy there, Mangler.
I got a little I got a little carried away, but
yeah. So the main point here is
that would still be Demon Kings.
There were already speed feats and fucking. There were also already particle beams in DMC1 and shit. There was enough to be above sub-relativistic easily.
Yeah, we'll go like
Now, doesn't it?
I think
As
that's
for
good.
power-wise, it really doesn't matter if Dante scales to it or not, because we know that he's well above continent level. Dante has faced all kinds of crazy and powerful demons who have the power to destroy the planet. He's also defeated his brother.
I hate this.
Wait.
He just threw in planet level Dante with no fucking feet behind it.
Wait, I think we might get it. Hang on. It's been a while since I watched this video. Let's keep watching.
Virgil, and has made it out of all the danger that has been thrown at him. He can be stabbed in the heart.
He mentioned Virgil. I was going to throw this out for record. Abigail would have been stronger than DMC3 Virgil.
Or shot in the head and still shrug
Vastly stronger.
it off. Even big flaming meteors weren't enough to worry him. Whether
Okay, yeah, I gotta say.
Planet-crushing monsters like Mundus.
I think I've said this before in the server. I fucking hate planet level Dante because there's no evidence for it. Dante's either under fucking planet or fucking universal. There's no middle ground.
He's either multi-solar.
Oh.
He's uni, or he's like
City level.
yeah, he's somewhere. There's no planet. Like and the reason we say this is because there's no time in the series, in the mangas, the animes, before, after, or during the points at which this video was made, where there's a statement that Dante can destroy the planet, or there's any evidence that would lead you to believe he's destroying the planet. There's always like, no, he's gonna affect the solar system, or no, he's affecting the universe or something. It's never a planet specifically or a galaxy.
You don't get the fucking leeway here. You either go all the way or you just keep them at the, like literally what you can see. There's no planet bullshit.
they're mountain-sized foes or teeny tiny little demons, he'll
Not even
slay them
solar
all.
system, just it's a planet specifically. That's
Why
super
is
weird.
fighting Nero considered a feat?
There's about nothing
He,
this half-demon can't
he
help.
has say he's battled with Nero. I
Which one?
think
He has his swords,
that's
his guns?
fair enough.
Why is that there?
Why does the stream keep pooping out?
I paused it. That's probably
And a
because
slice
Okay,
of pizza. The only thing he may need a little help with is voice acting.
He is healed from multiple stab wounds and survived an ambush of sights. Okay, sure. Purposes that is more impressive than anything Sora has ever demonstrated in
Oh,
regeneration
man, that's
department.
hilarious. Well, now that we've analyzed these two fighters, let's look at your predictions while I calculate the results.
Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and skip a little forward here.
This is where the polling stuff comes.
Okay, so bad Gucci.
Dante got voted in for 60%.
Yeah, I was gonna say I noticed that. Can I skip it or I'm gonna have to wait till it passes? I'm not rich.
Go back up to the
Oh,
video.
there's a fucking ad going on, Mangler.
Just skip it.
I can't.
Wait, do you not have the push skip? Oh.
I can skip this one. Hang on. Beautiful. Okay, now we're back.
It's like what heinous things.
Okay, so we're just gonna go to the end.
Wait, I think he discusses the reason why somewhere in here.
Well, it's because I see someone's face there, so it's like I don't really know. Okay, here we go. No, he discusses it after the fact.
Rooting for Dante. Not all of them, but most of them said that Dante wins because of his healing factor. If I recall correctly, Wolverine's healing factor didn't exactly save him from losing in his death battle, now did it?
I'd like to point out that I have it on a semi-reliable source that even Death Battle's crew now disagrees with the match with that outcome. Just saying.
I have it on reliable information that is not a good argument for why Dante would lose to Sora.
Okay, so now to be fair, Leopold's not wrong here. If a higher AP character were to step up to Dante of a significant margin, they would beat Dante most likely. Unless Dante can hacks them with some ability or something.
No, because then you have to account for speed and then abilities too.
I mean, I would
because
assume
there are characters that have
above
higher.
Dante in power is going to be at least comparable, if not faster. I'm just being honest here.
Oh, okay.
Who the
you
fuck
say
is going
that
to be higher in power and not be higher in fucking speed?
I don't know. VSP doesn't want to get rid of immeasurable speed, so
Everyone is infinite.
I was just like, if you want to get rid of immeasurable speed, then Dante beats every 2C character. Don't fucking do that to them. Don't do that to them. Whatever.
I'm just being real here. There's no fucking way that shit. There's no fucking way that shit does not. I'm just. If you can find me a character, I'll disagree. I'll agree with you. But come on, don't bullshit me.
That's just not... His regeneration is just not the reason why he would beat Sora. I mean... I'm sorry. But I'm going to wait until he can give his reasoning, then I'll give my reasoning.
I mean, right off the bat, I can already see that there's going to be an AP substantial difference here. I can already see that coming.
It's that Dante can
I'm waiting
fix up from swords almost immediately. That still doesn't change the fact that he's getting stabbed in the first place. Healing from something doesn't make you immune to it. Why would Dante even need to heal if he never took damage from those things? True, healing factors are a huge advantage in fights as it makes you hard to kill, but all one would have to do to beat out a healing factor is overpower it or outpace it, so let's see if Sora can do any of those. As we know, Sora is faster than light from piloting a ship of that speed and deflecting all those lasers. Meanwhile, Dante is sub-relativistic.
Yeah, so I did explain... I know I already explained why the ship thing doesn't work in the previous video, you know. Hands on the console, he is reacting to a lot of that in space. He's already multiple times faster than the speed of light, so he would only have to react to something where he's not actually moving his body, he's just moving his finger when his finger is like an inch, less than a millimeter from like the fucking console. The laser dome feat actually doesn't work as of 2012. I actually kind of forgot about this, but sorry, Cage Scalers, that doesn't work. Well, it's true that he does react to the laser dome. He actually canonically doesn't do that. And I know everyone says, "Well, what are you talking about?" No. So this is a crazy thing. Everybody's just like, "What are you talking about?" He, as the player, I remember having to mash triangle 200 million times to win that battle. You're correct. Unfortunately, as of DDD's intro cutscene sequence, it confirms in flashbacks that when Xemnas fights Riku and Sora, they deflect about 20 or so, and then they go into session, which is a limit that results in them activating a bunch of giant-sized laser swords that basically blow up everything in the immediate vicinity. So while they are reacting, they're also swinging swords that are so big they don't actually have to react to something because the coverage and the hitbox of those weapons is just so big they can hit anything in the immediate vicinity without having to move that well. All they literally have to do is spin. So they wouldn't be like massively faster than light. They'd just be like a couple times faster. They're not really reacting, they're just spinning around in a circle and the blades are doing most of the work.
Wait, so you're telling me that this feat was re-shown in the cutscene already, and...
So, if you watch DDD, which is fair game, 2012, this video was posted in 2016, you watch the opening cutscene for DDD when the music is playing and it shows, like, Cage 2, it shows the cutscene where you're fighting a Xemnas, Final Xemnas, and Riku and Sora are actually not fighting with Kingdom Key and Weight of the Dawn. They're fighting with Oathkeeper and Oblivion. So they didn't just retcon how they won the fight. They retconned the weapons they used to fight Xemnas with. And then as soon as he fires the laser dome, they start deflecting. And they're doing it for a little bit. And then they go into session. And then they stop doing it.
So won't the feat still work a little bit since they still block?
It does work a little bit, but you can't really say. I'm just saying you can't really say that they deflected all of them individually, like they did in the video, because that's just DDD confirms that's not what happened. Right. And if session is their strongest limit together, so that kind of more or less confirms that they had to pull out their strongest ability outside of Trinity limit in order to stop the laser dome. Which means Sora is trying his hardest. That's also the strongest Sora outside of DDD Sora, so since he's not using DDD Sora for whatever reason, that's not good.
Alright, so...
beating a foe that can attack at those speeds. While that may sound impressive, you should know that subrelativistic is only 1 to 5% the speed of light, meaning Sora, who's faster than the speed of light, is 20 to 100 times faster than Dante.
If
Dante
you
gets
think
stabbed, the wounds
Dante is
open more than long enough
unironically
for blood to be
1 to
drawn.
5%
So Sora,
the speed of light,
Wait.
then
No, hang on a minute. Even regarding that one for me, this one's
is fast enough to outpace it. Not to mention that the
So, he brings up the Yamato scene as to say that Dante can be cut and blood can come out, therefore you can outpace the healing factor. But that's not accurate.
that's not what happened. Even when Yamato is pulled out of his body, he's still healed, even when he's out of stamina.
I mean, we see that he does bleed at the very beginning, but that's also because of the weapon being used here. Yamato is probably at this
special.
time, it was the strongest sword in the series behind Sparta. And that's really, if you want to argue for Sparta being stronger at the time. Because Yamato was just more useful overall in general.
Still is the strongest.
the effectiveness of Dante's healing factor diminishes as he loses stamina.
Okay, I gotta say this now, regarding the healing factor. This is something that's been said by fucking everybody under the sun. No, it doesn't. Even back in DMC3, there was no evidence to show that the healing factor got weaker as their stamina decreased. They just get tired. We get one statement from Arkham saying they're wounded, and even though they show no signs of injury, everyone's taken that and just fucking rolled with it.
Also, the way their healing factor works isn't exactly derived. Well, it is derived from demonic power.
Yeah, it is.
That's just the properties of like them getting the ability. We don't know that it's sustained directly by demonic power because it seems to be tied to their immune system. Like when you stab them, it is an automatic thing that it's not like they don't choose to heal. They don't have a choice in the matter. They can't force themselves not to heal, or they can't force themselves to heal. It's something that's happening regardless of whether they want it to or not.
Well, to be fair, we do see Virgil like stop his healing factor a little bit.
When?
When he's bleeding himself from his hand to give blood to the tower.
Isn't that like a one-time thing though? And that's.
I mean, yeah, but like technically, you could argue they can control it to some degree, or at least Virgil can control his to some degree.
I think that's a bit different though. I'm just saying, for the most part, they can't. They usually don't have control over it in the heat of the moment. Yeah. And Dante specifically has never been shown to do it. Hang on a sec.
Considering Sora plowed through a valley of 1,000 Heartless, he wins out in that category as well. Now let's take a look at their strength. Dante defeats world-destroying demons, while Sora defeats Xemnas, who is powered by the world-destroying and creating
Ryan,
hearts.
we're making a video right now, so maybe later would be a better time.
So you'd think they're both equal at planet level, right? Well, it's a bit more complex than that.
I'm back.
You see, the world's...
Okay, so he basically puts Sora at star level, claims Dante's only planet level. Well, the problem here is, like, so I remember specifically Leopold did not like the Mundus feat, or was against the Mundus feat in some capacity back in the day. So I'm kind of wondering if, like, in this video, that's also being put on display as well. Because, I mean, like, he didn't seem that much of a stickler about Mundus creating stars and stuff. If I remember, it's been a long time.
I mean, I'm trying to remember if he used the Zeus feat, because if you're going to use the Zeus feat when Zeus has no knowledge of the existence of other worlds, and you're going to argue he can manipulate matter that he's not aware of, there's no fucking way you can't argue Mundus can't manipulate matter in the demon world. like I there you go ahead.
In Kingdom Hearts aren't represented by planets. I don't even have to explain this one. I'll let Goofy of all characters do the honors. Watch what happens when Destiny Islands was destroyed and consumed in darkness.
Actually. Oh, look! A star's going out!
Oh yeah, so Goofy's going to make the point for me. So the way that this is demonstrated and shown is that in the cage verse, even before 3, it has been consistently demonstrated, stated, and visually shown on the world maps, all of the world maps in 1, in 2, and in BBS, that the planets, the worlds that you see, orbit and rotate on an axis. So they're planets. They're spherical.
Yes.
they're nearby asteroid belts and other things that are clearly intended to be stars. The only example that you can really use is Goofy saying this and saying that they're technically stars. It's just shown specifically that planets in the realm of light are seen as stars from far away, probably due to the effects of light and the magic of light in the Cage verse. That's really all you can say. They're not actually stars.
Yeah, no, that's not. Yeah, that doesn't work because the fact of the matter is, freaking Mars looks like a star to us on certain nights.
Yeah, no, it's literally just light reflecting off of it. But I usually say that's due to the realm of light. I'm not talking like actual science. There could be something that supports that even further. But either way, whether it is or not, it's irrelevant. The fact is, these things are visually shown to be planets, and they're shown to be rotating.
Hang on, Mangler.
That's all I can spare.
We'll see.
So Dante at his best is still lower than Sora in base and both speed and power. Speed, highly debatable. Actually, non-debatable, but not in Sora's favor. Power, no. Sora's not even star level.
He's already not accepting like any of the actual fucking things for DMC because I know he knows some of them because this happens after the Bayonetta debacle on Death Battle.
That's right. We discussed that. So
this technically, by all accounts, he should know all the information and stuff.
First of all, if that's true, how does he reconcile that Sora can beat Dante? Sora can't beat Bayo. What?
He scaled Bayonetta higher than Dante. I remember that one pretty.
No. Even if you scale her to what she actually is right now, Sora can't beat her.
No,
she would speed blitz him to the moon and back, and has a way better arsenal.
I know, but what I mean is, he did not support the idea of Dante being Bayonetta. He was one of the people who was avidly against that and said Dante should have lost hard, if I remember correctly, back in the day.
How powerful did she put Bayo at, though?
Actually, I think around Planet Star level.
Dude, she still wins. She still wins. Actually, even if you put her weaker than Dante, and you said she was continental, she still beats Sora. I mean, because she can just.
The point I'm trying to make is that just because Death Battle said Dante beat fucking Sora doesn't mean that he would have accepted that, especially at the time.
Sure.
I remember yeah. Pretty crazy times back in those days.
I'm sorry, but he did use Wolverine versus Raiden as like an example of healing factors not working, which, I mean, I can understand sometimes that's applicable, but like, he's talking about like the comic like textbook definition of a healing factor, and a guy that's meant to stop it, but not having enough research on either one. So I don't know. Ditto.
Are you saying
color me stupid?
You wouldn't dare say Leopold didn't do his research, now, did you?
I didn't say that.
You weren't
Don't put words in my mouth.
Insinuate that, were you?
I certainly chose not to do certain research. Rather, I knew about certain research, but chose not to include it because obviously it wouldn't be fair to include stuff that came out after this video.
All I know for a fact is that this guy does not scale Dante anywhere near where we do, or anywhere near where we did, because he made a video discussing that he didn't like the Universal Tweet at all.
And anywhere near what he's at. Opinions aside, there are facts and there are like what you think he is. Fact number one, he's solar system in DMZ3. That's non-debatable, non-negotiable. I don't care what your opinions are. Sorry.
Truly, it's a wonder you don't win more debates.
Look, mister, I laid out the arguments. If you're going to make something semantical to interact with that, then we have nothing to talk about. There's no middle ground or nuance.
This is why I'm the one who wins debates outside, and you're the one who's like, they don't listen to me.
I have no patience for people who waste my time.
Fair enough.
Truly.
Alright, let's continue.
That's right. The worlds in Kingdom Hearts are represented by stars, not planets, thus putting Sora at star level.
I will say this for the record. Is Goofy even a credible source of information in Kingdom Hearts?
He is, surprisingly, he's actually a person that does pay attention way more often to what's going on than the other people in the cast. But it wouldn't matter because he's not stating that the planet is a star.
I don't know why you would say surprisingly. Goofy's actually the only one of the original three who has the most mature stories and the most stories where he's just an average dude actually living his life.
Well, I say surprisingly because he is a Disney character at the end of the day, so he's either going to be like weirdly useful or stupid. Like that's generally the category that they fall into.
Technically, the most mature one, and most of the time, is Goofy, because like Mickey's Mickey, and Donald's either like a PTSD veteran one day or like just a Oliver H another day.
Well, I just say that because I've never really seen Goofy stories individually. I usually like all the stories I saw involving him were usually when he was on screen with other characters, like as a combination of their stories,
okay, so,
like where he's like a side character.
So there's still a bit more. Let's see what's going on.
As he defeats world-destroying foes, this means he's far above Dante in power. He could easily hit harder than Dante could heal, and nothing suggests Dante would be able to regenerate from decapitation, which Sora could totally do. Dante does have a much
let's stop that right there. So Dante's weapon arsenal is better than his, but what does it say? Like, back up a little.
He's saying that Dante has a large arsenal, but what good are they when they aren't strong enough to finish to get the job done?
Bold of you to assume Dante's arsenal up to DMC4 requires an AP condition. Let's go over his arsenal, shall we? Because we certainly didn't do that in the last video. At least not over what was mentioned. Let's see.
12 minutes before fucking Discord starts.
Oh, okay, we can do it. We can do it. So DMC, like,
just get to the main weapon. I know which one you're gonna talk about.
Okay, so Alistair, as a main example, buffs you, and I can use the DMC2 novel to this extent. Alternate universe Trish, who has no feats outside of her augmented form, fights a Dante that is capable of one-shotting Demon Kings. And he confirms that she is faster and hits harder than him just because of Alistair. She's basically a glass cannon, and he proves this when he does hit her one time as she crumples to the ground and he kills her with a headshot. Alistair does have the capacity to augment you vastly beyond your base form, so even if we were assuming and taking this argument that this is true, if you composite Dante and give him Alistair, he would he would become a glass cannon, but Sora would never be able to touch him, so it wouldn't matter. Ifrit's statements are also stated to have fire that's hellfire. I would have to assume that's at least hotter than the sun.
I mean, if we're being honest here for a minute, we don't even have to go into too much detail because the statement itself is already wrong. Dante's AP is not weaker than Sora's. Even with this guy's rating a planet level Dante, which fucking hurts my soul, Sora's not star level, he'd be planet level, because again, the planet is referenced, or the star being shown is a planet, not a star.
There's also the fact that DMC2 novel includes that we kind of have to include the beast heads, which means that Dante has the ability to warp all of reality. So he could just create weapons for himself if he wanted to, or he could just literally fap Sora into a black hole, or like send him to another dimension, open up a portal in space. And this includes like warping all the reality in the context of Dante's knowledge of the demon world, which he has been to twice. So yeah. Pandora. Okay, you wanna tell them about Pandora? Or should I tell them about Pandora?
Oh, by all means, go ahead.
Okay, so Pandora, a lot of people think it's just a box that has a couple guns in it because that's what Dante brings out of it. In the Deadly Fortune novel, it's confirmed that Pandora has the ability to produce any weapon based on what the user imagines it to be, and that the condition for it is holding the suitcase. So those weapons that Dante created in DMC4, he actually had no idea how to make weapons with it. He doesn't know the abilities of Pandora. He just chose to have a weapon, and Pandora gave him those specific weapons according to his description. So if Dante wants to have Yamato, or any of the weapons of bosses, or Sora's weapons, or any weapon he wants, in accordance with whatever ability he wants, Pandora can give it to him. So if he wants to create a weapon that can blow up Sora from the inside, or can remove all light powers from him, or can negate him from using spells, he could do that. He also has access to Yamato, which can completely cut through anything that Sora has, including space and time, reality, dimensions in general. Let's see, Lucifer, which is like an infinite supply of exploding
Okay, I'm
arrows.
gonna stop you right there. That wouldn't matter for his argument of AP.
I mean, when we use it in the context of in combination with the other weapons, because Dante can't use more than one weapon at the same time.
I mean, yeah, but keep in mind, Pandora Beast Heads, that's all fine, but and even Alistair too, because of the amp, but the other weapons don't really need to talk about, because again, he's already got the AP and speed wrong in general.
Yeah, but Yamato doesn't account for AP.
Yeah, but he does have Sora at higher speed. Which is already
good thing Yamato still negs you even if you're faster, because you can't react to an attack that transcends space and time. Sorry.
I'm gonna watch this video and be like, "Here's a couple scans."
Larger arsenal, but due to Sora's massive lead in physical stats, it's highly unlikely that Dante would get a chance to use all of them.
Scroll back a little bit. He does make a statement there.
Due to Sora's massive lead in physical stats, it's highly unlikely that Dante would get a chance to use all of them before dying. Not to mention, Sora has better...
Most likely, he would not have the time to use any of them anyways, as Sora's stamina defeating 1,000 Heartless by himself surpasses anything Dante has done.
That doesn't really
hold up the phone. You think killing 1,000 fodder enemies is even anything on the level of something that Dante has done?
Well, I'm assuming. I'm assuming since he's saying stamina, he's just arguing that Dante would be able to or that I guess this guy would be able to outlast the fight.
Where in the idea, where in his mind of impressive are we talking here? Is fusing two universes not more impressive than killing 1,000 dudes?
Okay, keep in mind, we're talking stamina here, so he would just be arguing for how long you can last in a fight versus what you can actually
Okay, having the stamina to move and cross through a universe in pure speed. Is that more impressive? There we go. I made a stamina argument. I did it. Are you proud of me?
I just don't understand why stamina even matters in this fucking context. Because if you're arguing that Dante loses in every other capacity, there's no reason you have to bring up stamina in general. Who's gonna fucking argue?
Oh yeah, he's gonna go over Quicksilver, so let's get to that.
An easier access with his arsenal, considering they can all be done with one Keyblade. Meanwhile, all of Dante's abilities are spread across different weapons. Now, Dante is ahead in one category, and that would be experience, as Dante has fought in more battles and has been fighting longer.
Okay, so Dante's Quicksilver only slows down time, whereas Sora's completely stops it, so Dante would have no way to counter it. Except that that's not how Dante's time stop works exactly. See, the Quicksilver's properties that make it deadly aren't the fact that it slows down time, or even that you don't know that Dante has it. It's that you can't see it. You literally can't see Quicksilver's energy wave, because it's a dimensional wave, and it's demonic power. So if you don't have any experience or any sort of interaction with it, you're not going to be able to tangibly interact with the energy source there. Now, I could say the same for Dante. He doesn't interact with light magic. So certainly he would have no resistance to it, except if he's just above that dimension, then he wouldn't be affected by it. But even if we use the lower Dante's weaker continental level argument, Sora wouldn't be able to react to Quicksilver. He'd get caught in it immediately, and he wouldn't have no way of breaking out of it. Granted, they both get caught in their other respective abilities, but the problem is that Quicksilver and demonic energy in general, when you make contact with it, it drains your stamina. if you don't have.
Doesn't just get negged the way Death Battle claimed it would.
Oh boy. And that's like draining your stamina is the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, you get turned into a demon, or you lose your mind and you're driven insane.
Oh yeah, we can just talk about demonic power in general, because the second Sora comes into contact with it, it's gonna destroy him. Well, not
yeah. Your soul could also be corrupted, or you could just be like, you just turned into a demon.
Sora would have no resistance to demonic power in general. So even if he could like speed blitz Dante, the second Dante hits him, or not even Dante doesn't hit him. He just has to be near him.
Like Dante, his ability, Sora's abilities consist of like elemental stuff and then gravity and time magic, which gravity would be effective. But the problem with Graviga is that it's kind of has this massive telegraph where you shoot it out and it drops a force field around you, so you see it happening before it actually hits you. So Dante would literally just teleport away. So time stop is really the only thing that works. But like, how many times is that going to work when Sora has a telegraph fort where he raises his Keyblade up to the sky and he says, "Stop"? I'm pretty sure after a period of time he's going to react to that.
Wait, hang on. Does he actually have to announce his fucking ability?
He does. Every spell that Sora activates, he yells the name for it. When he uses fire, he's like, "Fire!" Or he says, "Thunder, Blizzard, Stop, Force." Like,
I feel like you're fucking with me.
I'm not. I'm literally not. Look up gameplay of like Sora. Well, we don't have time for it now. But also, I'd like to mention
2 minutes in this 41-minute video.
So one more thing. Doppelganger confirmed in the 3-to-1 art book that came out before 2016. I can still use it. It's confirmed Doppelganger. Well, we also know this based on DMC3, so you don't have to use this. 3-4 artwork just makes it blatantly obvious for people who want statements that are being bitchy about it. Doppelganger has the ability to copy any abilities of a person it sees. Dante controls Doppelganger. He also has the ability to control shadows, according to its description. So if Sora makes a shadow, he could just make a copy of Sora that has all of his powers and abilities.
Yeah, what do you mean
and he could
Sora
just force it
makes
to
a
fight.
fucking Shadow? You telling me fucking like Sora has the ability to
Oh yeah, the guy that controls light is gonna make a shadow? Gee. It's almost like there's like a statement literally in the first game that says the closer you are to light, the bigger your shadow becomes. It's almost like Dante is the worst enemy for him to fight because he literally is a perfect counter to it. Oh,
fucking
that sucks.
I can really get this big old moment of like fucking yeah, I'm right. I'm just like, what the fuck are you on about?
Basically, since he's a light user, he'd always be able to produce shadows, so Dante would always be able to make Doppelganger. Granted, he doesn't need your shadows to do it, he can just send out a dimensional light rift. But, like, point is he'd be able to copy all of Sora's abilities, and so he'd be spawning out an invincible, unkillable clone of himself that has all of Dante's abilities and doesn't suffer stamina loss or damage. So, have fun with that.
Alright, let's see if he says anything else here.
Than Sora, who is typically seen as a team player. While that is true, Sora is more than capable in battle by himself. While he does often fight on a team, he doesn't rely on them to win. Not only that, but Dante has never faced a foe that's as far ahead of him in stats as Sora is. There's also
Again, like I'm not gonna let Mangler go too far on this one either if he wants to, because we're already fucking 40 minutes into this. We're already 43 minutes in, but yeah, no, the AP and speed is just wrong here.
The fact that the Keyblade's darkness destroying nature would make his attacks even more effective against Dante. So with greater
Okay, so alright.
speed, strength, stamina, and an easier to access arsenal, Sora wins this fight.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we didn't even mention it, but yeah, no, this matchup is over because demonic power, as soon as Sora interacts with it, it's just going to corrupt him completely. Like, even if Leopold's right...
I was also going to say that... Go ahead, but...
even if Leopold's right on the whole stats and everything, all Dante needs to do is DT and Sora's lost the fight.
Oh yeah, I'd also like to point out that if Dante DTs... any status effects that are on Dante's body are getting removed immediately. because he's transforming his entire being to become another person and his soul. So whatever was on his body is gone now. Also, when he DTs, he releases a massive burst of demonic energy. So there's a there's just let me say there's a reason why Lady is never present in the vicinity when Dante's DTing. Because
the writers don't put
it fucking kill her.
Yeah, no. So now you could argue that Lady doesn't get like transformed into like a fucking demon as like while she's near demonic power or something like that, and you can also argue that for Burial as well.
You can argue that Dante wouldn't want to do that, and he would put it under control because he wouldn't intend to.
Well, no, because both Lady and Burial were near other sources of demonic power, in their respective like other medias, like the anime and then fucking.
Oh yeah, and we saw what happened to them, right? When Beryl walked into Void Moon's palace, or when she walked into the underworld, she was shaking. Yeah. She was literally like. No. She was literally like the symbol on the back of my neck is like burning up. Yeah, and I'm like whiteheaded.
Yeah, what I was gonna mention, both of those people have like, well, Lady has unique blood, and Burial already was marked by the Beast a while back, which we don't know if that would have given her more properties of like.
She was, but she's marked. Even if we give her the benefit of the doubt and she has resistance given by the Beast Heads, and she's also a female devil hunter who has expertise fighting demons. Even with all of that in her interactions with demonic material, she's still suffering side effects of it. So there's no way a 15-year-old kid with no interaction with it is going to be like, yeah, I'll just walk that off.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no. So
I was also going to say the experience argument in him like fighting isn't really relevant. That wouldn't be contributing to it. Also, Sora, I would like to point out that Sora use of friends. I did look up the descriptions of KH2 for the drive forms, and unfortunately, what I can confirm is that, well, I've heard before, Sora technically does have to have party members near him to drive form. He doesn't need to literally do the fusion dance with them, as the cutscene shows, but they do have to be nearby, because it is stated by description that he has to transform with the power of friends to make master form, transform with the power, or join powers with Goofy, join powers with Donald, join powers with friends. Final form is actually the only form he can use by himself.
So what the fuck is drive form? Is that like his other abilities,
or? Those are the forms where he changes his clothes and gains 2 Keyblades.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
no, so...
Actually... He technically can use limit form because the power of limit form is just that use the powers of friends far away. So, I guess no matter where we put Sora, he should be capable of using limit form. Well, that wouldn't be enough though.
Yeah, at the end of the day, Leopold just had wrong general stats in general. Wrong general stats. That's really just the main crux here. I think in part one we already talked about the way he handled Dante's powers and abilities. I think we already talked about mainly about all the bad things that were there. If there were, again, that was done like a month ago. So I don't remember too much about what's on there. We just continued the video from where that was on. This video is actually going to be at least 10 minutes longer, I think. Anyways, yeah, no. So at the end of the day, it is wrong. Also, I think Sora's most of those, at least some of those feats already got nuked. I think Sora is where is Sora scaled to right now?
Planetary to multi-planetary, but that's where he was before.
Yeah, no. So
it wasn't above that. That was where he consistently was. Granted, some of the stuff came out in 0.2, but like you can still use KH1 and KH2 to reinforce the fact that Sora is above planet level, and he's like large planet to multi-planetary. I think that's consistent. Star level is just a little weird because there aren't like star feats that he scales to specifically.
Alright, yeah, so that's gonna be it for the reaction video here. I don't even know if Leopold still makes versus stuff these days. I'll probably check because again, it's been like a couple months since I've seen his channel. I'll see what's going on there. The first video will be up hopefully tonight, and then this video will be up the day after. I don't know. So, thank you guys for your time as always. Have a nice day. I'll see you guys on the next stream or video. Have a nice night. Or nice day, depending on where you watch it.